Hey everyone, so we're doing another video today. We're just going to take you through the Poly X70, which is kind of the big brother for large meeting spaces and all-in-one bar when you compare to the smaller ones like the X30, the X50, which we've both done videos on, and there's also the X52 as well. But this is the one above that, and Ben will take you through some of the features of that.
Yeah, so you can kind of see the way I've got this angled here. You can see some of the speakers inside the unit. So from an audio perspective, this device is a lot more capable than X30s, X50s. It's designed for much bigger rooms. It's even got, you can see on the back here, it's got like some bass boost sections. So it gives a much fuller sound, and the audio can fill a much bigger room. They call it, what do they say on the website? That it's boardroom filling sound. It's the way they describe it. The camera that's in this device is literally the E70 camera. So you can see it's got two 4K lenses. It's got at the top you've got the near field of view camera, and at the bottom you've got the wide angle camera. So that has a 120-degree angle for picking up people that are close to the unit off to the side, and you've got another one for doing longer distance stuff. On the back of the unit, so this device has two video outputs, so you can hook it up to two screens. So whether you're in Teams or Zoom, you can support dual screen. It won't do three screens on this one. And you've got an option for, there's a port for adding an extra microphone. So if you're doing a particularly long room and you want to add some extra sound reinforcement at the back of the room, you can have a microphone to pick up people sat at the back of the table. And you can also, what's interesting about this system is using the USB port, you can actually connect it to an external DSP. So if you've got an existing audio system in a room and you just want to uplift the camera and the system at the front of the room, you can connect this potentially to your existing space as well.
Yeah, I think there's also, there's numerous ins and outs. You've got 3.5mm analog inputs as well, so you can have different input sources for sharing in or out audio. You've also got the ability to use your USB-C or USB 3 outputs as touchback as well. So if you didn't want a touch panel in this with the system in a room, you've got that available on the screen if you wanted to do that as well. These do now ship with the TC10, which is the 10-inch touch interface that goes on the table, but the 8-inch one is the one that we're testing with today. So that's what's been shipping previously, and that's robust, working for Teams and Zoom and other services as well.
Another use of the USB ports is you can add secondary cameras. So whether you want to have like another camera at the back of the room, show the room from a different angle, or maybe you want to add a content camera, which in Zoom you've got really strong content camera features, and even for MTR on Android now you can also enable those content camera features.
Yeah, on Zoom Room, one thing that's been really popular with these in particular is obviously we can use the lens to do near and far participants and everything, spread them up, but then when you can add in say two other cameras as well, it will ingest those and you'll have like a multi-feed view from around the room. So basically all you would need in a space in theory is a screen, this unit here, a couple of USB extended cameras around the space, and then obviously however you want to touch it, whether it's via the USB or with the touch panel. So yeah, really good all-in-one unit. And I think what we'll do is we'll set it up in this meeting room first. Yep. Kind of a normal size, medium-sized meeting room. Have a listen, have a look, and then then we'll move on from there in a bit of a bigger space as well.
So we've got the X70 set up in this meeting room, a medium-sized meeting room. Under the screen, maybe is a little bit over the top for the size of the room in here, but actually I think it's ideal. You've got really good large speakers that we showed you, and it's a really, really tall room in here. So we need the microphones to do a little bit of work with the AI, noise block AI that's provided. Poly have lots of claims around noise reduction, and there's firmware updates coming in the coming months, which are going to minimize the amount of echo in the room as well. Yes, we do have some acoustic treatment in here, but we can only do so much. So the idea is that I just wanted to sit nice and far away so you could hear, hopefully how nice and clear that is.
So as always, we put the device into a Microsoft Teams call. So the audio that you're hearing is from the microphones picked up by the device. There's no extra microphones in this room, and then that's processed through the Teams call and recorded.
So looking at the video part here, we've got our dual lens camera, like Ben mentioned, with the zoom lens and the wide angle lens. The same as the E70 camera that we've shown in other videos. But basically, with all this all-in-one bar, we want to show that, look, I look absolutely miles away. So we just want to make sure that we've got the best inclusivity, as it were, for the people at the end. So, Ben?
Yeah, so at the moment, you can see loads of the table, you can see loads of the walls and the ceiling and things like that. If we were to enable the group framing feature, there we go, you can see straight away that that's punched in and it's tried to make the most of the real estate that we're putting back into the call. We're both a lot bigger, you can see our reactions a lot clearer, and you're not looking at all the room. If other people had come and sat closer to the camera, then it would crop out and it would get those in as well. Again, if we look at some of the other options that you get on the X70, so we have the speaker track option. So when Jeremy enables speaker track, what you'll find is, because I'm the primary speaker at the moment, that's punched in on me. As Jeremy starts speaking,
I'll take over, and you'll see that it doesn't know who's going to be talking next, so it frames us both, because we might be doing a lot of back and forth, and it would stay doing that if we're doing back and forth. But look, it realises that I'm definitely the one that's taking over at the moment, so it's zoomed in on me. I'll let Ben take over.
And what the camera will do is, the longer the meeting runs, the camera starts to learn who the primary speakers are, and it gets a bit quicker at switching between those people, so that if someone who hasn't been speaking a lot, just speaks up a little bit, it might not always crop over to those people.
Yeah, and it's obviously using the zoom in lens a bit more here, and so it's kind of cropping in and out on that image. But if someone really up close to the screen starts talking, it'll just do a nice crossfade onto that wide lens as well.
But speaker track is, some people really like speaker track. It's not always for everyone. So the other option that we have is the people framing, which gives a more composite type view where it tries to give everyone an individual frame. So it goes up, and then we each get our own individual frame now. So up to, is it 5 people now that can have their individual frames? If you have a 6th person, I think 2 people might share a frame.
Hold on, bear with me. Sorry.
Is that too much?
No, basically it will do up to 6 frames on the screen, but if there's people grouped, say, together on each side of the table, it'll do like 2 long bars down the side and 2 strips in the middle. So yeah, but yeah.
If you are using this, if the device is registered to Zoom and you're using this kind of camera setting, then you can have each of these frames go out as an individual stream, and that's something that I believe is coming soon to Microsoft Teams.
So just to quickly demo a little bit more of the capabilities of it, I'm going to go and sit nice and close. Ben's going to stand up over there.
Yeah,
let's see how quickly it does that. Might take a little bit of reframing, a couple of times. Most people aren't walking around the room during a meeting. It'll do a bit of an adjustment, and so I'm on the up close lens, as it were. Ben's on the zoom lens. Hopefully it will do a nicer frame. There we go. And we've got a more detailed video as well, which shows this when we tested it on the E70 camera as well, with more people in the room. So what would you?
So one thing to bear in mind with that is, we mentioned it can do kind of up to 6 people. If 7 or 8 people come into a meeting room, if it's quite a large room, then at that point it'll go back to group framing.
Yeah, that's right. I think one thing which you probably should do is we'll take this into a larger room in a minute and just kind of show you at a distance the audio pickup in our demo room, which is big and echoey, but hopefully give you a good idea of the noise block AI and the camera length that the lens can do. So in the big room now is the big wide open view look, big echoey room. So I think what we'll do is we'll just quickly do the same thing again. So we're going to turn on group framing. Hopefully Ben and I will be framed quite nicely there on the zoom lens. Hello there. And what I'll do is I'll just quickly move over this way, and hopefully it'll probably take a good few seconds or so to do it, but hopefully we'll see that do a little bit of frame at the back of the room. I'll just keep talking or whatever to aid it. I know it's not going to take a huge amount of time, but yeah, it seems to have done an okay job there.
And again, just to point out, in this room, this is a really unforgiving space. We've got like arch-shaped ceilings in here. We've got lots of reflective surfaces, so most systems have to work pretty hard to sound anywhere close to decent in this space.
Yeah, and we probably we definitely would in a space like this be looking at a tape that you can get the official table microphone or a DSP or something like that. But we thought we'd just work the microphones in it quite hard.
Yeah, we're putting it through its paces.
Yeah, definitely so. So there we go. There's the group framing. So let's put on the speaker framing and tape. So that's gone on there, and I'm talking as well because I have a problem on the speaker. It knows that already. So I'll hand over to Mr. Hayes when he's picked a position to go and stand in.
Yeah, so I've stood quite a bit further away. So the speak track on this system, I believe, operates up to, is it about 7.5, 7.6 meters, something like that. And you can see that's found me. I'm stood maybe about 6 meters away at the moment, and that's managed to pick me up no problem.
Yeah, and then I'm going to go back over to me again, and it'll probably do that group framing again. And as it realises I'm a predominant speaker, it'll zoom in on me. And I think if Ben's going to try and really put it to the limits here now.
Yeah, so I'm stood at about the 7.5 meter mark now, which is the very limit of what this camera reports that it can do for things like speaker track. So you can see it's framed me, but by the looks of things, it's not going to try and zoom in so much. Oh no, it is going for it. There you go. So yeah, this is, like I say, really the limits of what the specification sheet says that this camera can handle.
Absolutely, that's good to see that working. Okay, so what we're going to do is then move this onto the people framing feature and press save. Yeah, you realise I've been doing all of this on the interface as well, just because the touch panel is not exactly available. Let's give that a moment to settle down. I think it will be also because I'm switching between views, so it's done an extra cell. But
I was moving around quite a lot as well.
Yeah, that's it. So you can see this is probably all using the same lens here. So again, if I move to the back of the room and talk as well, so you can see me, hear me all at a good distance. I'm good 7 meters away now. Let's see how long it takes to give me a cell, and so you can hear me as well. Since you put me in, hopefully it will do a little bit of a neat turn up there at the cell. But yeah, that's basically people framing. And like Ben mentions, it will work. It will assign up to 6 cells in the room. If people are bunched together, it will group them all together in a cell. But then also it'll do that thing where, step over here as well, just give it some work to do. But it'll do that thing where if it sees that everybody's all bunched together and it's very busy, then it's just going to put everybody all into one big cell as well. I'll just move really close to the system as well. So I'm now only metre and a half or so away from the system. There we go. Let that settle down so you can see and hear exactly what that sounds like and looks like when we're using the people framing. There we go. Quick edit there, and we're back to group framing. I've been to the back of the table just to do a bit of an outro. And just to say, yeah, obviously this is available on Zoom rooms, Microsoft Teams rooms, GoToMeeting, Google Meet room, loads of other Blue Jeans, loads of other different services. But you can, of course, use all of these Poly systems, which is a bit of a standout feature compared to some of the other competitors, in a Poly mode setup. So it's effectively a standards-based endpoint. So you do SIP or X232 calls to all different services, using CVIs or PEXIP or something like that to do nice secure or cloud or on-prem meetings, whatever it is you want to do. So just to close up, really, let us know if you need anything else on the X series, so the 30, 50, 52 and 70 and the G7500, which is a big modular system, and we'll be happy to help.
Well, thank you.